Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaserking coming to you with week 6 of the NFL already. Had a huge week last week. Hit the big 21 unit lock, the college, Buffalo and Wisconsin. It was strong versus weak in both games, and the point spreads were very generous. Buffalo only 7 down to 1. Had to be the biggest joke. They were up 17 with a minute left. Easy winner. Wisconsin, I knew they would just pound Nebraska. They've owned Nebraska for the whole time. They've been in the Big Ten. Nebraska's really weak. The quarterback is good, Martinez, but it was you knew they were just going to pound them. And when you got a good running team like that, what are you going to do? You're going to keep running, and Nebraska's in no shape to take it. And I have a buddy, and he's like, well, you sure you want to go against Scott Frost? And I said, if they were playing UCF, I would probably take UCF over Wisconsin, sort of like BYU. But Nebraska is nowhere close to UCF. So even though Scott Frost is there, I think he made a huge mistake going to Nebraska. He had something good going at UCF, and he should have stayed there as far as I'm concerned. And you keep going undefeated, and then you start scheduling Alabama, and you start beating them, and then everybody goes, Power 5, huh? That UCF team could have given Alabama all they wanted last year because they had the offense and the defense. I mean, the kid goes to Seattle, a couple of them, and then you got Mackenzie Milton. So it's a very strong team. But let's get back to the pros. Pros had the Rams, had Baltimore, had the Tennessee under. Got a little revenge from the Tennessee under, go to Philadelphia. And the funny part was Tennessee's a terrible road favorite in the pros. So I couldn't take them, and then here Buffalo beats them, which I would never think Buffalo would beat them, but that just shows you how weak I think Tennessee is. They're laying 5, and they can't even beat Buffalo at Buffalo. This is how weak Mariota is. Terrible. Anytime you see a quarterback go back to pass and scramble and run, you ain't winning anything with that guy. He'll win the odd game or two, but generally, I mean, that's why I was shocked when they scored 20-some points on Philadelphia. But Philadelphia's defense isn't back. And it goes back to the first lesson I try to teach. It's this year, not last year. So Philly was great last year, had a great defense. So did Minnesota. But not this year. This year the defenses, they're different teams. So what you try to do each year is find this year's Philadelphia. Find this year's Minnesota. And then Philly and Minnesota take other identities. Now they're San Diego. They're a good offensive team and a weak defense. So you constantly have to reevaluate the team, and you can't look at what happened last year, which is why I'm very successful doing this, because I look at who's hot now, who's the Philadelphia this year, and I can get off of Philadelphia even though they won the Super Bowl last year. That's the key to my success, and that's why I always say, give me a few weeks. Give me 5-6 weeks to really get rolling, because I got a customer's like, well, we haven't won a whole lot yet, and I go, we're just getting started. Not that the beginning was bad. I had one real bad week. Outside of that, I've been pretty hot. But you've got to, now I can nail it down. Now I know the teams are starting. I'm finding who's the Philadelphia. I'm finding who's the Minnesota. I'm finding who's the 90 Cowboys. I'm finding who's the 80 49ers and the LT teams. And, I'm finding the 72 Steelers. And that's really what you're looking for. See, in the 70s, it was easy because you had the 70 Steelers, Cowboys, and Raiders, and you can just pound the hell out of them, and you knew what you were going to get. And they were together for a long time. Now it's a little bit difficult, and first of all, the coaches are so bad. There might be 2 or 3 real pro coaches out there, and the rest are just horrible. That's number one, and number 2, the players are just terrible. I mean, there's a few good ones, but most of them are not like the talent that was there in the 80s and 90s. Lawrence Taylor, Joe Montana. You got Brady and Rodgers, okay, but there's not a lot of really good running backs. There's not a lot of really good defense. not like you had. And go find Joe Green and go find Mel Blount and Randy White and Bob Lilly. No, you can't find those players. Yeah, Darnell, I don't know how good he is. I mean, yeah, he's a good player, but the Rams give up 30 points to a lot of games. Look at last week, the steel curtain ain't giving up 30 points at Seattle with that offense. And that's what I mean. So even though you think the Rams are this great team, and I'm not saying they're not for what we have, they're not a great team. I mean, and there's so many weak teams out there that when you beat a weak team, you go, oh, look how good they are. And then all the media has a frenzy. Oh, they're great. I heard somebody last week say how great Tennessee was. Oh, Tennessee's my number 3 team. I'm rolling my eyes going, they suck. What are you talking about? What are you watching? They're not even in the top 10. They're not good. They have no offense. They have no quarterback. Their coach is lousy. What are you thinking here? Anyway, so as now the weeks are in, now we're in week 6. You almost throw out week 1 because there was no exhibition. So week 1's really the exhibition, and kind of week 2. Now you've got weeks 3, 4, 5 in the book. Now they've played a good 3, 4 games. I don't like the bye so early because I can't bet New Orleans this week. It's like, wait a minute. What do you mean they're on a bye in week 6? Anyway, so now the true color of the team comes out. The Bears, are they really this good? Is Trubisky to them? I don't know. All I can do is wait and watch. And it's even more frustrating in college because they'll play a Division II team, then they'll play some weak teams, and then you're like, well, I don't know if they're any good because they haven't really played anybody good to proven how good they are. So let's get into my game this week. And I have 3 locks going in the pros. It could be 4 depending on, I'm waiting on a over-under. But I have 3 locks in the pros, and in college I could have another 3. I'm drooling over a couple of games that I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm waiting on a couple of injury notes. If the guys play, it's going to be a lock. If they don't, it won't. But at this point, this is a huge week. My buddy asked me, well, it was a great week last week. What does this week look like? Because he knows there's certain cards, there's certain deals you get, right? You're at a poker table and you're getting pocket aces a lot, or you're getting 2-7 offsuit a lot. So the question is, well, what kind of week is this? Pocket aces week or 2-7 week? This is pocket aces again after last week, but I'm starting to see a lot more pocket aces out there. They're becoming. I'm not blind to the teams as much anymore that I might have missed, like the Rams last year, Jacksonville. They're not bad. They're turning their corner. Again, you have 7 new coaches. You have all these, Darnell and Rosen and Allen and all these new quarterbacks, Mayfield. So it's all over the place, trying to get your variables and trying to get your trends. And so you gotta, how does the trend work for this guy? So it's going to take, for the coaches, maybe 8 or 9 games, really, or 10 games till you can really go, now I understand Tennessee's coach. Now I get Arizona's coach and Detroit's coach, where you really don't have a good feel for him yet. But I can bet Stafford on the Lions. He's been there. How do I bet Darnell? How good is he? How good's Rosen? How good's Mayfield? So you really don't know. I just know Josh Allen sucks. That's about it. So that's what you do. But even a bad, sucky Josh Allen, look how stupid Tennessee is. They can't beat him. The guy threw for 70 yards. What are you doing? Why aren't you spying the guy? How do you let the guy run for a touchdown? Where's the safety spying him? The guy can't throw. And all you got to do is blitz him, and you got him 10 times out of 10. He can't just dunk the ball because he has no concept. He has no concept when the blitz comes. So anyway, how you lose to that guy and don't shut him out every time is beyond me. That shows you how bad the coaches are. All right, here's a game for this week. San Diego laying 1 at Cleveland. Over under 44. Let's break it down. All right, San Diego. They score 27 a game. They give up 26 a game. I got them rated as as a 2 team. 1 the best, 5 the worst. I have 1-5 Buffalo. I rate them a 2. They scored 27. Their defense is a little weak because Bosa's out and they got some injuries. Quarterback's a 1, Rivers. Offense is a 1, 27 a game. The highest is KC and the Rams at 35, New Orleans at 34. So those are your big teams. You know, that's the most you're getting. So a 27 is pretty high up there. The defense I rank as a 4, maybe a 3 at 26 a game. It's just a lot to give up. But they know how to win, so I give them credit there. The coach I like, he's a 2. Their offense, they throw for 300 a game, get 115 running, so they get 414 yards a game. So they're going to score, and they got a pretty potent offense. Even against Kansas City, they put up good numbers. They just couldn't stop them. Cleveland. Now here's Cleveland. They only scored 23 a game, and they give up 23. So I got them as I got the quarterback Mayfield as a 3. He's just not ready yet. He's good, and I like Mayfield. I think he's the best one of the bunch. Maybe Luke Falk of Washington State if they ever play him, or my best, Quentin Flowers, who's playing running back for Cincinnati instead of quarterback. But that's why the coaches get fired. They don't understand their talent. I give them a, well, really it should be like a 3 offensively. They score about 23 a game. Defense is a 2 to a 3. They give up 23. They get 400 yards a game, 260 passing, 144 on the ground. So it's a very nice balance of offense. Give them credit there. So superficially looking at the teams, you got a team that scores 27, gives up 26. You got a team that scores 23, gives up 23. Pretty much every game's close. You get 400 yards of offense against 414. So there's going to be a lot of offense in the game. There should be. Now, the key variables you can't counter are sacks, defense, or sacks, turnovers, and returns. You know, kick returns, punt returns, the turnover, who's more likely to turn over. And, you know, so that's why sometimes the stats are misleading. Time of possession's a joke because, you know, if I run a kickoff back and a punt back, I scored 14 and I took 5 seconds off the clock. And then the other team gets the ball and then they march and then you run the punt back for a touchdown. The other team marches. So the time of possession's the other team, but you've got 14 and they don't have any. That's why time of possession's a very tough stat to use. I know that I can get 400 yards of offense on each team here. Let's look at the quarterbacks. My favorite look. We got Phillip Rivers. I got him as a 1. He's a superstar. Absolutely. 70% on his passes. Averages 300 yards a game. 13 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. And that's what you like to see. He's been sacked 6 times for 40 yards, no fumbles. So he's got 2 interceptions is it. This guy gets you there. He scores and he doesn't turn it over. 13-2. Let's look at the Baker. The Baker's got 58%. He throws for 279 a game. He's got 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in 3 games. Rivers has it in 5, but if we break it per game, the extra 2 games, Rivers would still be a mile ahead of him. And he's only thrown 2 interceptions in 5 games. Mayfield's already thrown 3. Does he have touch on the ball and everything? Mayfield in 3 games has been sacked 8 times for 62 yards. He's fumbled twice and lost 1 of them. There's a guy that doesn't hold it. He gets sacked a lot, and he throws 3 interceptions. And he only gets you 3 touchdowns. So they run the ball a little bit more. That's how they generate points. Let's go down inside the numbers from a personality of the teams. Cleveland this year is very unique. 2-0 as a home dog, 5-0 overall, 2-0 against as a home dog, 5-0 against. So every game you bet on or against Cleveland, you win. Let's look at San Diego. San Diego is going to be a road favorite here at this point. I'm praying Cleveland goes. If Cleveland goes favorite, I'm locking San Diego. If I can get 7.5 with San Diego, that's better than my 21 unit lock last week. So right now I got San Diego laying 1, and I'm hoping for the move. So San Diego is 3-2 against the number, but they've lost twice at home. Once to Kansas City, I don't remember the other one, as home favorites. But on the road, they're 2-0. They're 4-1 against. So again, because of the home losing as home favorites, they've no, they're not very strong there. So 4-1 against. That's this year. Let's go back to 17 and 18, because now this is the Mayfield trend, right? Really 3 games. They're 5-0. If you take them, 4 of them has been as dogs. And again, bet against 4 and they're as dogs. Now let's go to 17 and 18. Let's get a little bit more information here. Cleveland, the last 2 years, 7-2 as a home dog, getting better. 14-7 overall, which is 67%. Bet against Cleveland as a home dog. You got it. 9-0. 21-0 against. Perfect 21-0. Because they haven't really, every game's been close, but the line's been low. 2-3 points. They were favored in one game against the Jets. So really, the Pitt game, the New Orleans game, you still, if you tease them, you still would have won. So it's and I include, like last week, Baltimore laying 3, gets the 3. It's a push, but I mark it as a win here because it's really not a tie, and you could buy the half a point, so you could have got it at 3.5, and you would have got a winner, and that's where I'd buy the half a point. These -3s, the +3.5, absolutely. San Diego, on the other hand, 3-1 as a road favorite, 17-4 overall in a teaser. Against, they're 3-1 as a road favorite, and 14-7 as in a teaser against. So you can see San Diego 17-4, and on the road they're 9-1. They're 6-0 as a road dog, 3-1 as a road favorite. So they travel very nicely because they have a decent defense. They ever get Boza back. And they got Rivers and Gates, and as long as Gordon, they're all pretty healthy. And they can score, and they know how to score, and they got a great quarterback. And that's the key here, is the quarterback. No matter what, he'll keep him in the game, and he'll know how to win the game. Mayfield doesn't know how to win the game. Let's go back to 16. So we get a little more information. This is why I go back a few years. Cleveland, home dog, 10-7. So this is the 16 season, the 17 season, and the first 5 of the 18 season. Bet against Cleveland as a home dog, 16-1, 94%. Bet against Cleveland overall, 36-1, 97%. And it's just, you gotta love that. Here comes San Diego, 4-2 as a road dog, 11-1 as a 4-2 as a road favorite, 11-1 as a road dog. So they're 15-3 on the road. They're 29-8 overall, 78%. So they get you money. And again, all these stats are in a teaser. Bet against San Diego, 5-1 as a road favorite. So they win on the road close, or it's closer games. And 27-10 overall, which is 73%. We can go back to 15, and there's not much. I mean, there's still, San Diego's 18-2 as a road dog. So yeah, this is why I'm drooling. If Cleveland goes favorite, I got San Diego sitting there at 18-2 as a road dog, and Cleveland is a home favorite, 2-2. However, if you go against Cleveland since 15, you're now 48-5, 91%. 20-2 against as a home dog, 3-1 against as a home favorite. Now I get Cleveland's trying to get better. They still have the worst coach I've ever seen in a league where there's terrible coaches. Yes, I like Mayfield. The running backs, I think Chubb should be playing more. Carlos Hyde, I guess he thinks he's at Ohio State because he did nothing at San Francisco. So he's okay. Defensively, they got the pass rusher. Good luck trying to tackle Melvin Gordon. You got Antonio Gates. You got Keenan Allen. So, Cleveland's not that strong defensively. I give them credit for holding Pitt to 20, and they held New Orleans to 18, which I don't know how. A little pressure. I like to... That game, New Orleans was running up and down the field. I really don't know how they didn't blow them out because, a friend of mine says, wow, they didn't look that good. And I'm like, so I watched it. It's beautiful on YouTube. You can watch all the games in like 10 minutes. It runs through the game. So it's perfect. So I don't have to sit and watch 4 hours of commercials. I can now go on YouTube and watch every game. And in an hour, I've seen every play, not every play, but all the key plays of every game. And I get my, okay, yeah, they're better than I thought. They're worse than I thought. And I can do my chatting. So that's what you have. So now the dilemma, do I go over? Because I got two good offenses and two decent defenses, but not Jacksonville defense, not the great defense. And let me give you the top defenses in the league real quick. Washington is 50. Well, they gave up a ton to New Orleans, so they're probably at 18 or 19. Baltimore 15, Chicago 16, Jacksonville 17, Tennessee 17, the Dallas at 19, the Rams at 20, and Philadelphia at 21, but not that. That's a week 21 there. So those are your best defenses statistically, but I question Washington. Baltimore, I believe. Chicago with Khalil Mack. Jacksonville, absolutely. Tennessee, that's why they're such a great under, is they only score 17 and give up 17. Likewise, Dallas scores 17, gives up 19. The Rams are the only wild card because they score 35. So it's hard to bet the Rams under, even though they only lay 20. So what you do is you bet the Rams, like I had them against Seattle last week, laying 1, because I know they're going to score, but their defense didn't hold. Russell Wilson looks pretty freaking good like he always does. So that's what you have. So my gut instinct here, I can easily go over 38. I think that's a no-brainer. I happen to love San Diego right now getting 5. Praying it did go to even, and if Cleveland goes -1, it's huge lock. It's more than the 21 unit lock I did last week. If you can get San Diego in 7.5 points, so if it goes to 1, you take a 6.5 point teaser, you will not lose that game. There's no way you're going to lose San Diego plus 7.5 against Cleveland. So right now it's 1. I still like the 5 because Cleveland is not blowing anybody out. They're lucky if they even win a game, and mostly it goes to overtime for some reason. It's just a weird thing. But Baltimore really choked at the goal line last week. They got it at the 2, and they're throwing a pass. I don't get it. Just run it down their throats at the 2. Cleveland can't stop a good run. Unbelievable. Bring in Lamar Jackson. That's what you got him for. Let him run that option. He's so fast. Nobody's going to tackle him on a 2-yard. Or you could have had Quentin Flowers doing it, and nobody would tackle Quentin Flowers. That's exactly why I would have drafted him. At the 2-yard line, let him run that little option. It's a touchdown every single time because you cannot tackle him one-on-one. I've seen it. I've seen Florida State couldn't tackle him one-on-one. That's what you want to run at the goal line, of these little options that they run in college, because you can't stop them in college. Why do you think the Navy and the Army score all these points? You can't stop that stuff. Oh my God. Anyway, take San Diego plus the 5, hopefully the 6, and God, please, if we can get Cleveland -1, I'm telling you now, Cleveland -1, I'm locking the game plus 7. Absolutely, no question. And I got 3 teams I can lock it with, depending on one getting injuries, and then the other is the line. Absolutely love it. So take San Diego. Again, pocket aces. I got 1. I got another lock is 2. I got another game is 3. I got another game is 4. Another possible lock is 5. Another lock is 6. Another strong game is 7. Another game is 8. And the Monday night game. 9 very strong games I have so far in the pros. And again, I still could play the Cleveland-San Diego game over. The more I'm thinking about it, talking to you, the more I like it. And I played the Thursday night game. So when you buy from me, if you're going to buy the week, you probably should buy it before Thursday's game. I did lock the Rams over Minnesota. Last Thursday I didn't play it. I wasn't interested when you got mediocre teams. I try to stay away because it's so much risk, because it's so inconsistent. Who the hell is playing that you can't really play it? So that's my point. So I'm going with the solid teams that I know, and now I've seen the coach, I've seen the quarterback enough. So I'm going a little more mature, like the Green Bay. You got Rodgers, you know the coach, you got Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady. Dallas, I kind of know what I got there. I got a good under team. I'm finding out about Denver. I'm finding out about Minnesota. Just what I thought. Kirk Cousins comes, it's a mess. There's no running, and he's not that good of a quarterback. He's not a winner. He did win at Philly, which, and again, it's going to take him 8 to 10 weeks to get familiar with the offense. It's going to take Case Keenum 8 to 10 weeks. It's going to take Darnell 2 to 3 years. Josh Allen will never make it. It'll take Mayfield at least a year. Look at Mahomes. They at least played him a game. Look, he sat out the whole year, played the last game. Now he's done it. He's seen it. He knows what to expect. That's how you do it. You don't throw the guy in. Why is Josh Allen playing? He's not a good quarterback regardless. He wasn't good at Wyoming. You got him starting in the NFL at what, 20% completions? Let's take a look. As long as I got my shit here. Let's take a look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen, there he is, on the bottom. 5 games, 53%, 149 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 19 sacks for 151 yards. He's got the most sacks in the league. Somebody has actually got 18, and it'll be Deshaun Watson, which is very surprising. So I can't believe that Tennessee actually lost to them. I even more can't believe Minnesota. Not only did they lose to them, they didn't score. I mean, it's one thing to give up 22 points on strip sacks and turnovers, which should never happen because the other team doesn't have an offense. So all you got to do is kind of run the ball, play a little position, once in a while get a drive, score a couple of touchdowns, and you got them 14-0. Like Green Bay did, 22-0. That's what should happen to Buffalo every week. But Tennessee, great coach. Wow. That coach should be fired. Wow. Mike Vrabel has never coached before. Why would you make him a head coach? Make him your assistant, fine. These guys that are assistants are not head coaches. They've never coached before. It's not like me and you can just walk in. I couldn't walk in and be a head coach. I could walk in, call a good offensive play, a good offensive game, but I couldn't sit there and be a head coach. I mean, I don't know what to do, but I certainly wouldn't be a figurehead. I'd be the coach. I'd be Lombardi. I'd be like, you guys want to play or you guys want to dick around? It's team, and if you don't want to play, I'll find somebody who does. There's plenty of guys out there, and I wouldn't kiss ass to these stars. Anyway, so that's what I got. I got a boatload of college. www.teaserking.com. Yeah, this is very, very strong week. Very, very all over the place. I was very hot last week. I hit every college game but Boise and Washington, which was my minor lock. But I hit my big lock. And then, people ask me, well, what's your percentage? Well, I had Buffalo in 2 locks, or in two teasers, 1 lock. I had Wisconsin in 2 teasers. I had the Rams in 2 teasers. So, I mean, I got basically that's 6 teasers. Well, one was Wisconsin and the Rams, Wisconsin, Buffalo. But as you can see, once I find the game, you throw it in multiple teasers. the game wins, now you're halfway home to, that's what you want to do. So when you find the game, and now I'm finding these games are just jumping off the board at me. San Diego should be laying 7 to 10 points in this game, and I'm only laying 1, and I hopefully will be getting 1, and that's what I'm looking for. So www.teaserking.com. This is what we're waiting for, folks. I mean, I don't know. You've known me for a long time. I do these videos for years, and when I'm telling you it's a strong week, it's a strong week. I don't bullshit anybody. There's no point in it. I'm very, very strong at the trend analysis in this, and I know my football as well as any coach or GM in the league. All right, everybody, have a great week. www.teaserking.com. Thank you very much.